From the Raw Boxing TV studios, your host, Ranger. Information may cause headaches to hates or biased casual fan. The host that gives you facts with very little feelings. From the city of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, the man who floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee, Louisville, Kentucky. It's showtime.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome once again to Raw Boxing TV. I want to thank those of you that are here at this time of the night, just chilling with me. I want to tell you, let me see who's in the chat. Chad Pet is in the building. What is going on, man? Andres Rodriguez, what's up, mi hermano? A-Rod in the building. Thank you for being here with us, man. Let's talk about these fights, man. Let's talk about these fights. No, I'm not going to be covering the UFC. I decided not to buy it. I figured, my channel, yeah, I'll cover UFC, MMA from time to time, but we'll see. I still got time to do it, but I'm just not convinced. But anyway, hope everybody's doing well, man. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's fight. We had some pretty good fights yesterday. Nothing to complain about. Pretty good fights. Ceniza, Estrada, beast. Tsunami, beast. Shouts out to Sulem Urbina. She didn't come victorious yesterday. Keep the head up, champ. Jojo Diaz, surprising me at least, because I was kind of down with Jojo the past few fights. I thought mentally he was going down. Outside activities affecting him inside the ring, but shouts out to him. We'll go over his fight. El Abejón, Javier Fortuna from Dominican Republic, man. What's up, man? Abejón, what's up? Is the Plátano not doing anything, bro? Never mind. Good fight, man. Good fight. Guido in the building. Bro, you've been missing longer than I've been missing, Guido. Remember to hit the thumbs up as you come in, guys. Drop the link to this video into your social media platform. We'll keep talking a little bit while we allow people to come in. I know probably not a lot is coming in today. Everybody's tuning in to watch the UFC. Fair. Maybe y'all can catch it on the aftermath. Maybe y'all can catch it in the aftermath. Who y'all think gonna win tonight? McGregor or Justin Poirier? Drop it in the comment section. Let's go ahead and get into these fights, man. And look, I'm going to go ahead and start with the main event of the evening, Zurdo Ramirez versus Barrera, because, I mean, yeah, it was the main event, but it wasn't the fight that impressed me the most. It was a fight that, I kind of knew what was going on, what was going to happen from the moment the fight was announced, mainly because of the type of things that have been going on in the Barrera's camp, personal life. No excuses. He took the fight and he paid for it. Got to pay for it. When outside activities all of a sudden play a major role to keep you outside of the ring, you gonna pay for it. When Father Time keeps going and going and going, and you don't move along with it, with your career, you're going to pay for it. Last night, well, first of all, let me start this way, because this fighter I know well. I met this fighter in person when I went to Cuba 12 or 13 years ago. We hung out for a little bit in Yayate's house, and we got to talking. When this fighter got here, hell of a fighter, moved, slick, elusive in the ring. But then, all of a sudden, the typical curse of the Cuban fighter, inactivity. Now you might say, well, Ranger, why inactivity? Don't they like fighting? They like fighting, just nobody wants to fight them. Let me explain what I mean. A lot of Cuban fighters are collecting dust because while they're in their prime, Nobody wants to fight them. Once they start going out of their prime, all of a sudden they start getting fights left and right. Don't believe me? Go back to every single Cuban fighter with the exception of Cepillo Casamayor. Go back to every single fighter. Look who they fought in the first 10 pro fights. Look at the consistency of their first 10 fights. And then look at their void, their gaps past their 10 fight and their level of competition. And you'll see the difference. So this is one of those cases. This young man, his best years are already gone. Well, I shouldn't say young man. He's an old man for the sport right now. Last night, he showed his age. I saw a very slow, I was going to say Marco Antonio. Marco Antonio Barrera. I saw a very slow Sullivan Barrera. A Sullivan Barrera that was telegraphing his shots. A Sullivan Barrera that was stationary. Very minimal upper body movement, although he did use it against the ropes. A Sullivan Barrera that knows better. He knows better than to guard up and dip squared in front of the left-handed fighters. He knows better because if I know that, I know somebody like him knows that even more than I do. But he did, and he paid for it. In front of him, he had a young, fresh fighter that's up and coming, that's very educated. And he did what he does best. He went to the body. He started chopping up the old tree, and he got him out of there. He got him out of there. What's next for Sullivan Barrera? I got to be real with you. I have mixed feelings about this. What's next for Barrera? See, in one hand, this is the way I'm going to look at it. I'm going to give it to you in two scenarios. I'm going to give you two scenarios. In one hand, I want to see him get paid to feed his family. I want to see him get money that he couldn't get throughout the time that he was very inactive. But in another hand, I'm like, dude, you get no. And at this point, you're becoming a punching bag. And at this point, the punches ain't worth the money you're making. They're just not. Maybe you need to start looking at some other things in boxing. Become a trainer. Become a be a very active sparring partners. There's people that make lots of money as sparring partners. But now you got a kid. And now you got to start thinking about that kid. And you're like, well, yeah, Ranger, that's why he's fighting. He's thinking about his kid. No. I guarantee you that kid would rather have you broke than not dead and some money in the bank account. It's time for him to start evaluating really and truly what's becoming of my career. I'm already like this old. I'm not fighting consistently. When I do get a fight once in a blue moon, it's against a very high level opposition. And I'm not winning because now that I'm past my prime, they're using the Cuban status to elevate the other fighter. That's just a fact. So now you know you're not at the same level. If you take the fight, you're taking it for a payday, but you're not taking it to win. I know for a fact he knew he wasn't going to win, but he gave it a shot. He gave it a shot. Congratulations to Zurdo Ramirez making his first campaign at 175 pounds. Very, very, very good for that weight division. He has a good size. He's got the southpaw stance. He's very educated. I like when a fighter goes to the body. I like when a fighter mixes it up, opens the doors up there so he can chop in there and stab in there. The only thing I saw last night from Zurdo Ramirez is that he can defend himself a little better after throwing the jab. There was some times there that against the Bivol, against the Beterbiev, was some times there that you will pay a very high price against fighters like those. Thanks, babe. You and your corners have to the faithful coffee, hooked up by the wifey. You and your corner really have to sort of pay close attention to the way you're keeping your defense once you're done executing your attack, specifically the jab. If you notice, every time Zurdo Ramirez shoots that jab, he lazies that jab back. He doesn't bring it right back up immediately, right? He's squared a little bit up top against a very, very high-class opposition or a younger opposition with snap, with reaction, with counterpunch that can cost him. Other than that, I really didn't see too much wrong with Zurdo Ramirez. He did what he did. He did what he was supposed to do against the type of opponent that he had in front of him. And he did exactly what you need to do when you move into a weight division. You make a statement by getting your opponent out of there. It sends a message saying, I'm here and I'm not playing around. I'm here and I'm not playing around. So that was it for me on that fight. I wasn't very pleased with that fight. I wasn't very pleased with that fight. It didn't last long. The first few rounds was kind of and then within a round, all the action and the fight's over. So moving on to the fighters that gave excitement. Let's talk about Jojo Diaz versus Javier El Abejón Fortuna. I really thought that Javier Fortuna was going to win this fight, mainly because of the way that Jojo Diaz had performed in his past fight. The problems outside of the ring, the DUIs and the issues with the family and not making weight. I didn't know where his head was. So he moves up in weight. He fights Javier Fortuna, filling in for Ryan Garcia. And so he comes in and becomes victorious. Now let's go through the fight, because the fight was very competitive. Jojo Diaz last night didn't just come in to get frustrated by Abejón Fortuna. Jojo Diaz had an answer pretty much for a lot of the things that Fortuna had to bring. The fight was pretty one-sided until the fifth round. It started getting very competitive past the fifth round, fifth, sixth. It started getting very competitive after that. And because of that, it started bringing the action people were yearning for. Yeah, it was sometimes it was a back and forward, and you had to kind of like, Jojo Diaz had to dig in deep. Fortuna had to dig in deep. Fortuna got rocked a little bit. I think it was 9th or 10th round. But he dug deep. He stayed there. Jojo Diaz did exactly what he was supposed to do. Feints, come in, put that jab to the forehead, right hook to the left hook to the body, uppercut with the right, and find space between you and your opponent. And every time he would do that, by the time Fortuna would come back with a counter, he wouldn't be there. But Fortuna caught Jojo coming in pretty solidly. Fortuna was able to put a bit of work there and make the fight competitive. Fortuna is just a tough son of a gun. Tough as hell. Tough as they come. It's a shame that he lost this fight. No, in my opinion, his stock has not dropped. I believe Javier Fortuna can still come back and rebound. This is the time to go home, regroup, find out what's going on, find the holes in your game, work at them, change your nutrition, increase your rest. Forget so much sparring and focus more on learning combinations, different types of combinations, working off the jab, working moving backwards. This is the time to do all of those changes. This is not the time to go home and sit sit down and feel sorry for yourself. Oh, damn, how could I lost that fight? No. Get that out of your head. It's done. The questions that are not going to bring you the fight back, correct the present so that you can fix the future. Correct the present so that you can do better in the future. And that's what Javier Fortuna has to do right now. Javier Fortuna right now needs to really reevaluate himself, go back to the drawing board, and go to work. Jojo Diaz, congratulations. Very good performance. He was cut. Got a point deducted. Javier Fortuna is a very awkward fighter. Throws punches, swings them from a mile away. But Jojo was there. And Jojo was actually neutralizing a lot of Javier Fortuna's work by simply giving him that jab, followed with a left hook to the body. It will make Javier Fortuna think before shooting. And by the time he would shoot, like I said, Jojo was kind of ready. There was a few times in an exchange where I guess Fortuna was like, screw it. If I get hit, I get hit. He went for it. And the fight would bring a lot of heat then. When both of them were in there exchanging punches, both of them were hitting each other with everything. For a moment there, around the 10th round, you thought, Fortuna's going down. But this brother stayed up. I didn't really like the last 10 seconds. I don't like when a fight is very good and all of a sudden both fighters are raising their hand. Man, let's get in there. Let's finish this fight. Give me the last 10 seconds. Just give me some leather. Easier said than done, right? I'm just here behind the camera. They're the ones fighting, but that's just me as a fan. But Jojo Diaz pulled the victory. Very, very, the right guy won. The scorecard, my scorecard, I didn't really kept scored, but it wasn't, I didn't have it, right off the top of my head. I had a little closer than that. But no mistake about it, the right guy won that night. Make no mistake about it. And so today, Mr. Devin Haney puts out a post and says, and I quote, paraphrase, I didn't watch Jojo some lazy something or whatever, something Diaz fight. It's funny. He's calling out to fight somebody else when he's my mandatory. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. Immediately, Jojo Diaz came back and said, shut the F up and let's make the fight happen at the end of the year. So it looks like these two are now involved in a back and forward. I hope it translates into a fight. But what was interesting to me is that Devin Haney is demanding that Jojo Diaz fulfills his position as a mandatory when he himself didn't do that. Because if you remember, Devin Haney had two mandatories. One was Ryan Garcia. The other one was Javier Fortuna. Javier Fortuna had paperwork ready, $50,000 check cut to make the fight official. And he didn't fight his mandatory. Devin Haney did not fight his mandatory. Devin Haney did not petition his mandatory. Neither of them. It was all talk. It was all talk. They like talking and calling out fighters. In the meantime, they already have fighters and fights locked up under the table, meaning that whoever fighter they're publicly calling out, it's impossible for a fight to take place. So he's demanding that Jojo Diaz fulfills his mandatory, while at the same time, he didn't do that himself while having two mandatories. And now that raises the question. If some of these guys did not fulfill their mandatory and they were never called ducks, if Jojo Diaz moves in another direction and does not fulfill his mandatory, will that make him a duck? And if that makes Jojo Diaz a duck, does that mean that Devin Haney is also a duck? I'm just asking a question. And the reason I'm doing this because I already smell what's coming. I already smell what's coming from the cheerleaders and the groupies. I already smell what's coming. But we're keeping the same energy. We're asking the right questions. And if the fight happens, let's get it. Let's get it. I personally think Devin Haney will outbox Jojo Diaz. But a boxing match is a boxing match full of surprises, and sometimes things can happen. Sometimes things can happen, and you never know. You never know. Uh-oh. I think right now that Jojo Diaz needs to enjoy his victory. Congratulations. And in fact, go to work. Because if they're gonna make this, if they're being serious about this, you don't just prepare for Devin Haney in 2 months. You go to work now. You gotta start strategizing now. Know that Devin Haney is gonna shoot expecting you to go to his head, therefore he's already prepared to block and counterpunch. Therefore, forget that his head exists. And rock the body, 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 one to the head, rock the body, one to the head, go to the head, one to the body. Get him out of his comfort zone. This is the time to do it. Let's see if this fight comes to fruition. Moving on to my main event of the evening. My main event of the evening. The beast, the monster, Denise Estrada versus Tsunami. Bro, is it just me, or when you see Denise Estrada, doesn't she remind you of Emmanuel, the drunken master, in a bit? The awkwardness, the awkward movement, the constant switching, the racing of the elbows with the shoulders. You know, a little less theatrics in some of the things that Emmanuel used to do, but that's when I see Denise Estrada fighting. That's who I think of. I think of the drunken master Emmanuel, who was constantly in weird positions and switching and throwing punches from weird angles and just awkward. That girl's a beast. She's collecting the belt, still undefeated. Collecting the belt, still undefeated. If she remains like this, you should expect her to be breaking the mills really soon. She's going to be touching that 1M per fight. I guarantee you that. She's slowly and surely becoming an international star. She's putting a show. She's not giving us boring fights. She's showing she has a pop in her punches. She's been fighting the best of the best and getting them out of there. And last night, she fought Tsunami. And the fight was a lot more competitive than the commentators were talking about. They were a bit unfair. They were giving all this credit to Denise Estrada, which she deserves, but they weren't really giving the credit that Tsunami earned last night. Because last night, let me tell you something. Although to me, Denise won via unanimous decision, Tsunami touched her up in ways I haven't seen her get touched. Tsunami was able to time her coming in ways I haven't seen her get timed and touched. Tsunami might have shown a blueprint on how to get to Denise. And let me explain to you what. Maybe because of the style. Maybe this was just something she was implementing last night in order to incentivize Tsunami to open up so that she can later on counter. But Tsunami was able to successfully counter on Denise the minute she even tried to come in, she would meet her at mid-range and counter, or the minute she would stop throwing punches or throw her last punches, boom, she would come back with a right of her own. The looping left hand from top to bottom, or from 12 to 3. The looping left hand from 12 to 3. Tsunami was landing them all night long. The uppercut landed a lot of them. And all based on timing. All based on timing and counterpunch. Maybe she's showing a blueprint to get to this girl. The question is, however, which other girl out there, in your opinion, can take that blueprint now and say, I know how to get to her. Let me work on it and actually implement it in the ring. Because it's the same thing with your trainer. Your trainer can tell you what to do, but you're the one that have to execute it in the ring. The question is, which one of the girls at that weight division is going to be able to implement that game plan? In my opinion, as of now, none. If the rematch happens with Esperanza, she gonna take that girl to school all over again. She gonna put a pummel in that girl all over again. Because Denise Estrada right now has a style that is not very common in the female boxing. It's not very common in boxing, period. You don't often see a fighter just switching back and forward constantly with such weird angles and such weird arm positions and weird head positions and using the leg so effective. Because that's another thing this girl has. Boy, she can dance. Boy, she can dance. She can get in and out before you even know it. She can get in and out she can win the fight with them legs, let me tell you. And her upper body movement, it's on point. So as of now, I see nobody touching this chick. Unless, of course, she gets timed coming in and boom, night, lights out. It's boxing, anything can happen. It's boxing, anything can happen. And so with that being said, Black and Brown in the building, Tyco TV, what's going on, my brother? Andres Rodriguez, JoJo surprised me too. I had Fortuna before the fight. Let's see. Forgot about it. Now I'm very happy for JoJo. Great. Yeah. Correct. Andres, let me see what Andres says. I've seen him take big hits in the heart. Like nothing. Yep. He showed a lot of that last night. A whole lot of that. Frankly, I don't see how can let's see. Frankly, I don't know how. I don't know because don't follow MMA, but maybe Connor can do it this time. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. We shall see, man. You never know. And the thing about it is, this dude's right now, I don't know that he has it in it anymore. I think right now it's just for the money. He's got plenty of money, but it's just for money. I don't know that he has it in him anymore, but you never know. He might shock us tonight, because one thing I did saw on Conor McGregor on the build-up to this fight is the past few fights, Cowboy Cerrone and even Justin Poirier, you saw a gentleman, McGregor, just a gentleman. Too friendly, handshake, smiles, and this and that. This and that. Now I've seen that disrespectful and condescending Conor McGregor. So, Justin might have woken up the beast, brother. We don't know. We just don't know. Who, in your opinion, as of now, could be a suitable next opponent for Denise Estrada? There's plenty of opponents. Who can take them belts, though? That's the question. I don't see one right now. If you do, drop the name. I don't see one right now. But I think I'm going to be cutting it pretty soon, guys. I know some of y'all got to go watch that fight. A lot of people's watching the fight tonight. I knew that if I do a live, it wasn't going to bring a lot of people in. But I had to get this out the way because I don't have a lot of time to do videos throughout the week. In fact, I take that back. I have zero time to do videos throughout the week. And so I knew I had to get in there and in here and drop this little shorty on y'all. just to put some content on the channel. I'm going to be very busy from now to December, guys. From now to December. And so most likely my content is going to be coming in, you know, Fridays, Saturday nights. And so I'm going to try, to be honest with you, I'm going to try. But as of now, I think that Fridays and Saturdays, it's probably the days that you're going to be seeing me bringing you guys content. I hope you guys enjoy the fight tonight. I hope that whoever you bet on wins so that you don't lose no money. I sound kind of like the guy on Bruce Almighty when everybody wanted to hit the lotto and he pressed yes and everybody won like $12. I hope that doesn't happen tonight. But yeah, man, boxing is getting good. Still a lot of drama. Let's see what happens over the next few weeks with the whole Tyson situation, with the whole Teofimo probably going to be abandoning the belts. Let's see what's going to happen. That's all I got for you guys now. For now, guys, Ranger right here, Road Boxing TV. Subscribe, activate the notification bell, hit the thumbs up in this video, share the link on your social media platform, and probably till Friday, we are out. God bless everybody.